Hey, what's up, fam? If you clicked on this video, you know that this video is something different than anything that I've done, and you may be curious or you may be someone that has followed this channel for a while. If so, thank you for clicking. My dog's name was Samson. We got his name from the Bible. He was a big, we named him before he got big, honestly. We didn't know he was going to get as big as he actually did, but he was a dog with black hair, and so I thought the name Samson was very fitting for him, and as he got bigger, I promise you that was definitely fitting. He got way bigger than we ever thought he was going to be. Samson was a Labradoodle. We didn't know how big he was going to get, actually. I mean, his paws gave us a pretty good indication. He was more lab looking than he was doodle, so he didn't have the fluffy hair. He had straight, wiry hair. Samson was crazy. He was also very protective of my family and our household, and that was a big deal to us. But because Samson was a COVID dog, we literally got him right before the world shut down. So Samson's first 6 months, he was not socialized. I've never had a dog that wasn't socialized. And I learned how bad that was. On the positive note of that, what Samson did do is he protected my household and he protected my family. And that was a big deal, actually. Some people were concerned because Samson did actually bite people. We told anybody, if you go around him, he's going to bite you. There was not a matter of if. I mean, there were people that were very confident, like, oh, I've been around dogs my whole life. Samson will bite you. That was guaranteed. Especially if you reached your hand out and it was an aggressive bite. He wasn't just nipping at you. He was going to take your hand off. But as he started to calm down, I started to introduce him a little bit more to my day-to-day life. And that's why I'm making this video. Samson became part of my mountain bike journey. He started going with me on rides. As the weather got cooler, I took him with me a lot more. I didn't ever take him when it was hot because I didn't want him in the van when it was hot. We did buy a new van, and part of the reason we bought a new van was because we wanted to buy a van big enough that would accommodate Samson, me, and my wife in it, and us not, be overwhelmed. And in that van, we were going to put some very specific things in there for Samson so he could travel with me across the country, and that way he could protect my van when I was out riding my bike. Air conditioner and heater were the number one things that we were installing specifically for him. Obviously, those are things that we're going to need, but we were literally going to do off-grid heat and air just for Samson so he could be in the van while I was out on a trail somewhere, no matter what state I was in, if it was Arizona, California, the desert, or if it's up in the Northeast in the wintertime, whatever could accommodate. It was really hard for me that the video a few weeks ago got released with me introducing Samson to the world, because he's been actually in the background a lot of times. I just didn't film him as much as I really should have, and if I could redo it, I would. I promise you, I would redo it. There's so many times that I made a video that Samson literally was at my legs, and you all just didn't know it, because I didn't show him. Back in November, I was going to start being more intentional about you guys seeing the behind the scenes, and that's why this video is existing, because you need to know that dogs are our family. It hurt me losing Samson. It was a big loss to me. Samson was with me every day, all day. My routine for the last 6 years has involved Samson in every hour of my life, unless I was traveling and not home. And that's it. If I was home, Samson was with me. Samson was extremely obsessed with me. And I use the word extremely in a positive way because I actually liked it. It was great. I didn't ever have to worry about him. Wherever I went, Samson went. I had no idea that we were going to lose him. And I'm going to get into in a second how we lost him, because I think it's important for others to hear this. And if you're my family, I'm making these videos for my wife, for my kids, for my friends, for people that know me that can see in the future. Everybody that knows me knows how attached that I am to Samson, or how attached Samson is to me. So this is a video for the future that I hope that my kids see. And so I'm going to go ahead and get into what happened, because that's why you're here. And I'm sharing this with you, not just because I'm sharing with my family of my experience, and losing Samson was hard on me, but how I lost him made it the hardest. And I don't think there's any good way that you can lose a pet, a friend, a family member. Like I've lost both my parents. I've lost them in two different ways. My mom had dementia, and it was a long period. My dad died instantly a long time ago. I've actually been alive longer as an adult without him than I was with him, and that kind of sucks. I've lost some really close friends. I lost a really good business partner. So loss is hard. A pet is your family. Samson was our family. Samson was my buddy. So here's what happened. We got a new puppy, and our puppy is a golden doodle. He's a mini golden doodle, and we also got a cat. So we thought Samson was just upset that we had other animals in the house and that he was just acting a little bit differently. He was not acting extremely amount outside of his character, except for the fact that he's obsessed with me, and he did not like the fact that the puppy liked to play with me and the cat likes to play with me, and that made Samson jealous. So I didn't pay much attention to it. That was actually what we thought was wrong. And then we noticed he started losing some weight. I didn't think too much of it because the puppy was eating his food, the cat was eating his food, and no matter what I did, separating their food was impossible with having the two little ones. And so I did actually feed Samson when they weren't around, but he's used to having his food available all the time. And so I thought he wasn't eating because of that. Well, then I remembered that, like doodles, all doodles, they eat things. And Samson has eaten some things in the past 6 years that were concerning. He was obsessed with eating socks. I did see him eating one of my socks in my truck, and I never found the match to it, so I assumed that he had that sock stuck in his belly. I gave it a couple of weeks. Nothing was drastic. It was all like minor. I mean, he actually ate a little bit, but he was not lethargic. As a matter of fact, the day that before I put him down, I walked 1.5 miles with him, and I can't believe that he went with me actually. And that's how obsessed that he is with me. He didn't show any signs of pain. I just thought he was depressed because the winter this year has sucked for a lot of us out here, especially on the East Coast. And we're not used to having this much snow and cold this long. And Samson likes to be outside just like me, and we weren't going outside. So I honestly thought he was a little bit depressed. So I went for a walk every single day in January, even though the temperatures were like below freezing and even below zero sometimes. Samson and I walked every single day of the month of January. And had I known what I found out, I don't know if I would have done that with him because I didn't know that he was sick. He didn't act sick. He wasn't eating and he started losing weight. So I did get concerned and I made an appointment. My sister-in-law works at the vet where he's at, so it's not a big deal. They're used to seeing Samson and we took him there a lot actually. And I finally said, hey, maybe it's time for us to check and see if that sock is in his belly because he's losing weight. And he got a haircut and we really noticed how much weight that he lost after getting the haircut. And then I was like, okay, I'm concerned. He's skinny. This doesn't make sense for him to be this skinny. I knew he lost a lot of weight, but he has thick fur, so it's hard to tell. So anyway, I made an appointment, and I took him to see if we could get the sock removed. And I already knew that it was going to be costly to us. That's why we kind of put it off a little bit. So I went in with full intentions that was what the problem was. We were going to get a sock removed from his belly. So I went, and we did some blood work, and they did an ultrasound, and unfortunately they found something else besides something in his belly, and that was completely unexpected. He wasn't losing weight because he had something in his belly. He was sick. We didn't just die. I had to actually put him down, which was so hard. Like, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do because I had to put a dog down who didn't seem like there was anything wrong with him mentally. He wanted to go home so bad at that moment. Like, I cried. Honestly, I cried a lot because I really hated having to do that. He literally was begging me to go out the door because he just wanted to go. He's like, hey, all right, so I'm going to go. Come on. We're going. We're done here. But here's what happened. And it's very rare. But I am making this video for those of you that have dogs and you let them go outside and you let them do like I have with Samson, where we go in the woods a lot. Samson got bit by a tick. And that tick gave him Lyme disease. That Lyme disease ended up causing his kidneys to fail. I didn't even know that was possible. And I don't know there's much that I could have done. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the day that he was supposed to get his flea and tick pill that he gets each month. Never expected that. I never expected to have to put my dog down. He was in stage 5, so he wasn't going to last much longer. Days, maybe weeks. He definitely wasn't going to eat according to the vet, so we made the decision to not put him through that. And that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to decide in my life, was to put down a dog that could look me in the eyes. He's not the first dog I've ever had to put down. The last dog I had to put down was because of a car accident. And that one was a little bit easier because he was in extreme pain. Samson was not in pain. He just didn't eat. He was skinny. He was actually acting halfway normal. When I took him into the vet, all the people that were coming in were talking to me because they're like, "Oh, he loves you. You're his person." And that's the fact. I was Samson's person. I don't know what I could have done to prevent it. This year, I was going to be a little bit more proactive about getting rid of the ticks in our yard, but not necessarily because of Samson. My thought process on Samson being a dog and having thick fur was, hey, not really a big deal that he's going to get ticks because he's a dog. Animals get ticks, not a big deal. That's not how I feel today. My dog got bit by a tick with Lyme disease, more than likely either from my yard or from the woods on our property. And unfortunately, there was no way for us to know. And there's really not much we could have done. And I hate that, actually. Like, I've thought through it a million times before I made this video. Like, what could I have done differently? There's actually nothing I could have done differently. Hey, I protected him with the medicine. I was going to spray the yard, so maybe I could have been a little bit more proactive in the last couple of years. My van was the favorite place for him to be, but his second favorite was being in the woods. He absolutely loved the woods. Anyway, I'm just making this video for the future, for my family, for my kids. Just
what are you
in
doing?
remembrance of Samson. For any of you that have pets,
Samson.
do everything that you can to protect them. I did not know it was possible for him to die from a tick. Otherwise, I promise you, I would have been way more proactive. I would have done everything that I possibly can. And I don't know what else I can do. So if you drop in the comments, have any of you experienced this? Because I've never even heard of it before. I didn't even know that it was possible that a dog could die from a tick bite. It's absolutely insane to me. I hate ticks. And that's probably going to be the title of this video. I freaking hate ticks. I hate ticks. I miss Samson. He was my boy. I called him my buddy. His name was Samson, but literally I called him my buddy. I said, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. All day, every day. So this video is for you, Samson. Hey, buddy. I'm going to miss you.